This is the Kratom Science Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gallagher, blog and social media writer for KratomScience.com, your source for all things Kratom. My guest is Chad Goodwin from North Carolina. Chad suffered through a 6-year opiate addiction that threatened his life and career. Twice he nearly died of a heroin overdose. This dark period of Chad's life came to an end when he says he discovered Kratom and never looked back. Now he's engaged to be married and runs his family's business. This is his Kratom story.
Man, it's a beautiful day in Carolina today. So I got up this morning, drank my cup of Kratom, had me a nice coffee. Just been enjoying this, the weather.
Yeah, that's us. I miss the weather down there. I lived there for 12 years. It's a lot better than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's rainy all the time.
That's crazy talking about the weather, man, because I actually just ordered me a Kratom tree.
Oh, really?
And I've been checking in what they grow like, and fortunately I have a greenhouse I can put it in the winter. So
that's great.
And I got a great place. I can, I think it'll be fine outside,
Yeah.
in the summertime. We have pretty good humidity, and
yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely good weather there. You definitely get some humidity there because I was a farmer for 7 years in Alamance County, so I remember droughts and not enough. Actually, there wasn't enough hurricanes because we weren't getting enough rain one year. But
right,
yeah, it was
that's
either.
The thing about Carolina, man. You gotta be careful with them hurricanes.
yeah. But are you originally from North Carolina?
Yep, born and raised.
In Durham?
Mm-hmm. I live in, yes, and just north of Durham. I went to school in Charlotte for a year, and then I moved back home, started working for my dad, and I've been here ever since.
So what kind of work do you do?
I work in commercial construction. We actually do pipe insulation, mechanical insulation. We do soundproofing too, like theaters, or actually we had a job out at UNC. They renovated their theater hall, their performing arts.
Okay.
And we did a lot of work out there, and kind of a niche trade, but stay pretty busy. So
that's good. That's a family business.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You guys shut down because of everything?
No. Actually, I guess we fall into the essential for commercial infrastructure.
That's good.
So we're still working. I'm just trying to be safe as possible,
Yeah.
Keep my hands washed. My bills keep coming in, so I got to keep working, I guess. Luckily, I'm able to.
So when did you first hear about Kratom?
Let me go back a little bit. I got introduced to opiates when I got my wisdom teeth pulled. That was probably around 2009, 2010. And I've always smoked a little bit of cannabis. I really liked the way they made me feel, and unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I went over to pick up some cannabis one day, and my friend that I got it from had this container of these little blue pills. And I was like, what are those? And he was like, Percocet 30s. I'm like, Percocet, I've heard that before. That's what I got when I got my wisdom teeth pulled. I'm like, wow, they made me feel really good. So you could probably guess where that went from there. And then I used that from probably 3 or 4 years, and then moved on to harder stuff. And then one day I was actually didn't have any money left because it took all my money, and that was probably around somewhere in 2016. And I was just Googling, I was hurting. I'd been abusing these things. I was chasing it. And this, Kratom came up. Now, look where I could get it. I went and bought some. I was astonished at the results of it. And, man, I never looked back, it's just a godsend for me. I've always had such an addictive personality. And Kratom it fills that little void that I like, but I don't chase Kratom. I just need a little bit, and I'm a daily user, but you never chase it. I have more money than I've ever had, because I'm not, buying any hard drugs or anything like that. It's just helped me out so much, man.
Yeah.
I just want people to know if they're going through anything, just give it a shot. And
So why do you think? Well, I mean, it's kind of a hard question, but like, why do you think you got so into opiates? I mean, you said you had them when your wisdom teeth were out, and I did the same too. But why do you think you started using them recreationally? Was it some kind of psychological need for them or something like that?
um, I've always been a super shy, kind of withdrawn guy. I don't like social situations.
Mm-hmm.
And when I used opiates, I was the life of the party. It was like a whole different experience for me,
Yeah.
and it just filled this. Looking back, it was. I thought I was, great and all this, but really I was kind of. I was, I was acting dumb, to be honest with you, but I thought I was having a great time, and it made me feel so good, and you just can't go through life like that. And
Is that the same reason with the alcohol too? Is it does the same kind of thing?
yeah, exactly, yeah. And I use them together,
Yeah.
and
Kind
and
of brings you out of your shell, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
know what that's like
I mean,
for the alcohols. Anyway.
I'm sure if you ask people that hadn't seen me, like the people I went to high school with or something like that, they would have never thought I would ever get into drugs like I did,
Yeah.
or get blackout drunk, at least 2 or 3 times a week, you know. But yeah, I went that path.
So you went from the pills to heroin, is that right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Because it got so expensive, it was taking all my money, and they were getting harder to find. I guess they cracked down on them,
Mm.
and so yeah, one day this dude that I got used to get Percocet 30s from was like, "Hey man, I got this. Use it the same way, pretty much." And I didn't know what I was getting myself into with any of it. And
Yeah, I hear. I mean, some people say it's actually better to snort heroin because it's easier on your liver or something than the actual pills are, and it's cheaper, which is a shame, but that's kind of the way it is. Is that your experience?
yeah, definitely, it's just playing with fire, man. It's just
Yeah.
I did just a little bit one night, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up in the hospital. My bed surrounded by doctors. I got an IV in my arm, and I'm saying I just did just a little touch to test it, man. And I don't think people understand that. Like just a touch, if you hit a hot spot or something in it, you might not ever come back.
Yeah.
Just playing with fire,
Was that? I mean, were you doing it IV with
No,
needles,
no, I never did
or
IV.
just snorting it?
No. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
I said I've never used needles. Just
Okay. I mean, and a lot of that, there's fentanyl out there now. I mean, I worry about, my nieces and nephews that are just experimenting with stuff, and
yeah. Yeah,
that
for sure.
fentanyl will kill you.
Absolutely. Really quick. Really quick.
So, what was like your life like when you were hooked? Was it completely taken over by your addiction?
Oh yeah. I mean everything I did evolved around that. If I didn't have any, opiates or couldn't drink or something, just I wouldn't go out. I just was miserable. I was depressed. I was just, I was a former version of myself that I really am, and
And you said you were pronounced dead twice. Is that the time you were just talking about with the doctors? Was that one of those times?
yeah, actually I got a Xanax bar that was pressed with fentanyl, and I did that, but I was also using opiates at the same time. Yeah, the cop found me and he tried to wake me up and couldn't. He didn't have any um, Narcan or anything. So the EMS got there. I woke up in the ambulance and they're like, the cop said you were dead. You were blue as a blueberry.
Wow.
That was the first time, actually. And the second time was more severe. That's this time I just told you about.
How'd that go?
Yeah, I woke up in the hospital. Man, it was really one of the worst memories of my lifetime, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to even look back now, you know. I do just to keep my head on straight, you know, but I just can't believe I, you know, was so numb to the fact what I was doing, you know. I'm just so healthy now, you know. I eat healthy as possible. I drink my little bit of Kratom. It makes me just so happy and fulfilled in life, you know. It just presses that little button that I have that just in a safe and healthy way.
Yeah, I understand that. Another guy I had as a guest was Michael Napolitano. He's a heroin addict, guy from New York, and he said I get kind of like a warm, fuzzy feeling, like in your stomach, kind of. It kind of fills that up, but it doesn't. It's not as hard on the body as the harder drugs. It's more like a cup of coffee, but it gives you a little, helps you with your anxiety and gives you a little boost.
That's another thing, you know. I can't just. It's just so hard to describe. It's like I have this little void that, you know, like, and I take breaks from Kratom here and there.
Yeah.
You know, but my life is it just presses that little button that I got, and it just makes my life so great. It's a special plant. It really has helped me out.
Yeah. So you say you take breaks from Kratom. What's the difference between? I'm sure you've withdrawn from opiates. What's the difference between like a Kratom withdrawal, if you even have any, and an opiate withdrawal?
Well, for me, it's not even in the same ballpark. I get a little bit of restless legs. I still sleep good. I kind of, you know, I want to drink a glass of it, kind of, you know, but it's not. And I have a large stockpile. I could go drink a glass easily, but, you know, I'm like, my mind's like, no, I'm taking a little break from it. And I'm strong enough to do it. If you had pills or something like that, I'm pretty sure that at least I would not have been strong enough not to do them. When I had them, I would do them.
And it's kind of, you said you were pronounced dead once, but that was the first time, and that kind of goes to show how addictive that opiates can be. For some people. Some people can use them for chronic pain and not develop a serious addiction. But I mean, like, if I almost died one time, you would think, oh man, I would stop right then. But it's
I was so scared after that first time. I said I would never use it again.
Yeah.
But a couple of weeks went by. I'm like, well, maybe I can do a little more and I'll be okay. That's just how addictive personality I am,
Yeah.
And, it's just the way I am. And I started using it again. It happened to me again. My fiance is the exact opposite of me. She doesn't drink or do anything at all. But she went through this time where she was very stressed out for some reasons and kind of depressed. And she's like, that drink that you drink, does it help you, with anxiety and depression a little bit? I'm kind of going through a rough spot in life. And I was like, yeah, and I don't recommend Kratom to anyone that I don't think really needs it or can use it as a tool.
Yeah.
But she was like, can you just make me one time? So, I made her a low dose one. I weigh all my Kratom out on a digital scale. I know exactly what I'm taking when I take it. And I made her one, and she jumped out of there. She had a lot of schoolwork to do. She knocked it out. She was very happy, and she hadn't done it in a while now. But whenever she gets in a little funk, she'll just ask me. She'll kind of nudge me and like, I kind of want one of those drinks.
Yeah.
She knows it's safe. And even someone without an addictive personality at all, it's really made her life better too in a way. And she uses it as a tool to whenever she's, just having a rough patch in life.
Yeah, exactly. My wife keeps some on her desk at work if she hadn't gotten enough sleep, or, it might be something that you depend on, but it's not gonna hurt most people, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long were you hooked on opiates and heroin?
probably 2010 to 2016, around something like that.
Yeah.
About 6, 7 years, something.
Yeah, that's a good long
Worst
time.
time of my life.
Yeah, and I've talked to people that were addicted for like 20, 25 years, and they're like, yeah, starting to Kratom. So did you taper off opiates and then introduce Kratom gradually, or were you completely clean when you started to use Kratom?
That's a good question. Actually, I got Kratom for the withdrawals, and it helped me out so much. But then after that, I thought, it's legal. I was like, it can't help me. Maybe it helped me get off of, but I didn't think it was going to make my life as positive as it's made it.
Yeah.
So I was totally clean off everything for probably at least 6 months. And then I was like, I had some left over. And I was using capsules at the time. And I took some. I was like, holy crap. I don't want to do more and more and more and more. Press that button that I'm talking about. And, I did capsules for a while after that. And eventually I switched to my powder with the orange juice. And, I hadn't looked back since. I hadn't bought a single street drug. I have not been blackout drunk since I started the Kratom. I'll drink a couple beers here and there, but I really don't care about alcohol that much.
Yeah.
I feel like I use it as it's intended to be used, but it's just helped me in so many areas.
Do you have like any preferred strains or types that you use of Kratom?
Green's my favorite. Usually in the mornings I'll do like a white and green mix, and then at lunchtime I'll do just like a straight green, and then at nighttime I'll do a red.
And how much do you take on an average day?
I do 8 grams at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say that's too much, but it's just, I've experimented with different doses, and that's just works for me. I never get the wobbles.
Yeah.
I never get nauseous, and that's just how it is.
It's everybody's dependent on their dose. I think if I did more than a tablespoon, which I think is about 7 at a time, I'd probably get a little nauseous. But I think it depends on weight and stuff like that, tolerance level and whatever. And it's such a mild thing that it never feels like I've done methamphetamine before, and that I was like, holy crap, how is my body even recovering from that poison? I've done that like twice, and I'm like, I'm never putting that shit in my body again. But this stuff is like, feels like I had a cup of coffee. It's like, yeah, I can feel it in my body. It's not doing anything but get me up, and and up, and then also calm. But anyway.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works, right? It's just
yeah.
It gives you energy, but it also eases my social anxiety at the same time.
Yeah, it's unlike anything else, because it's like, usually like cocaine, meth, even coffee, if you do too much, you get jittery and anxious. This stuff, the more you do, the more you calm down.
Yeah, exactly. Do you like drinking coffee after your Kratom, or do you not mix the two? Or?
Yeah, I usually have coffee every day, so I'll add it. Yeah. I'll maybe like have the coffee first and then have the Kratom an hour later, or vice versa, or something like that. But it's usually because I have insomnia. It's usually when I can't sleep, and I know I'll be up, but I won't be, because I'll get like, if I can't sleep, and it happened like last week just because of the pandemic. I was just all paranoid for a couple days and couldn't sleep, and then I get more paranoid, and I'm just get a little crazy. But when I have the Kratom, I know I'm gonna be up, and it's not going to make me more anxious, It's going to make me less anxious, right. But I'll still have that energy to get through a day's work.
Speaking of this pandemic, I know a lot of people say that Kratom helps your immune system. I mean, I'm not saying that it would help anything. I'm just saying that I personally hadn't been sick in almost 3 or 4 years since I've used it. So I used to get 2 or 3 colds a year, and now I hadn't even had a cold. I have a little bit of allergies, but that's about it. It's crazy. It's got to be something there, because
I really think
Yeah.
there's enough. There's no. See, I even did a podcast actually that was like it was just like 10 minutes long because I couldn't find a guest, and it was about how it boosts your immunity, and I titled it "The Immune System," and then I kind of took it down because I was worried that somebody wasn't going to go to the hospital and they were going to order kratom if they got sick, because it's people just read the headline and they don't look into it. But I think it really does. It does help your immunity. I mean, I'm glad to talk about it here like this and not put it in the headline. Josh, who was one of the guys that started Kratom Science, he takes it all the time, and he said I haven't been sick in like 7 years, and I've had like bad colds that I've gotten over just by drinking a couple of cups of tea every day. Yeah, and it seems to dry up the mucus. And even in that Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia, did you ever see that on YouTube?
I love that show, man.
Yeah.
The Kratom one was great.
The one he goes into the Thai farmers. He goes into his house and he pours sugar on a leaf, and he's like, "It'll clear up your sore throat. Just eat that. It'll clear up your sore throat." And I think there is something there, and honestly, I think that's the reason the FDA is trying to shut it down, because they really are a wing of the pharmaceutical industry. And I mean, you got off painkillers. I mean, you had an addiction and everything, but everybody. I mean, I'm going through comments now, and I'm making kind of a just sort of a PDF file that anybody can look at with our comments, because we have at least 1,000 people that have said this stuff worked for me, and a lot of people are saying, and there's just a list of pills, prescription pills that people have gotten off of, which if this stuff catches on, a plant that you can get from Indonesia is going to, for relatively cheap, is going to replace all these expensive prescription drugs. So I think that, to me, that's the only logical reason why they'd be against it.
I mean, that's why I'm careful. I only really tell people about it that can really benefit from it. That, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't tell everybody, because I don't want it to get too out there, but I want it to get out there enough to help people that really need help. It's like a tough situation.
Yeah.
And I know big pharma's for trying to kill it as hard as they can, I'm sure. And I'm scared of the bans. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
Is there anything going on in North Carolina that you know of? I don't remember hearing anything from North Carolina. Like people trying to ban it in the state. No.
I follow the Reddit on the Kratom, different ones, and I've heard about shipping problems. Yeah. But hopefully I have enough stockpile to last until this is over, and we can get some more in here. And
yeah, I mean, as far as I know, there are a lot of vendors that are still going as long as the post office is open.
Yeah, I actually got a shipment this morning, actually.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Do they have medical marijuana in North Carolina yet?
No, they don't.
Okay.
Unfortunate. Because I honestly feel that if I told you earlier how I went to my cannabis dealer and he happened to have the opiates, and I honestly feel if they just had a store for the medical marijuana, or you got a prescription for the medical marijuana at the least, you wouldn't be put in those situations. And because a lot of people that sell cannabis sell other things.
Yeah.
And some of them are more profitable than just cannabis. So they might try to push that on you. And I know quite a few people that's got hooked on hard drugs that way. So if it was a store that we could go to, or, medically available, I think it would help some.
It really is good, too, because I got my card here in Pennsylvania, and I'm not a person that smokes a whole bunch of weed, so I don't, maintain I never maintained, a constant dealer, because, I always, hey, ask my buddy if he knows somebody, do you want to split an eighth or something? But now, since I got my card, I can go to the store, just get a little bit for me. I don't have to bug anybody, So it's a lot nicer. It is a lot nicer, especially if you're. A lot of people are still getting it illegally, because if you're a heavier smoker and you go through an ounce a week or something crazy like that, then it's more expensive. I mean, it costs about $50-$60 an eighth for a really good pot, which I think is pretty normal underground prices. But if you're a heavy smoker, you're gonna buy an ounce for less than that, and you can't get an ounce at a time.
And actually, Kratom actually has reduced my cannabis intake. When I was doing opiates, hard opiates and stuff, I would want to smoke all day with them and stuff like this. But the Kratom just, it fulfills me so much, and it just makes me, have a little bit of energy. I don't even think about smoking hardly at all. So, I don't even smoke every day anymore. And I used to smoke almost, whenever I got the chance. It helped me in so many ways. It's just.
And is it the same effect with drinking as well? You said it makes you not even feel like drinking.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll drink 2 or 3 beers, but I never drink more than a 6-pack no matter what, even if I went out to a party or something like that. Yeah, definitely can thank Kratom for that.
Do you make it a tea, or do you do toss and wash or capsules?
I usually mix it in orange juice.
Okay.
A little bit of orange juice.
I still never tried that.
I can do toss and wash. It doesn't bother me, but orange juice is my favorite. I enjoy the taste.
Yeah.
People probably think that's crazy, but it tastes good to me.
Yeah, I don't actually think it's bad made into a tea with honey. That's how I do it. But some people say
I never made it that way.
Yeah, it works. It works. If you like, I have a video on YouTube, but what I do is I have an electric tea kettle, and you heat it up to a boil. You don't boil the Kratom in it, but you pour the water off on the Kratom, let it steep for 30 minutes, and then you pour the liquid off and leave the sludge behind. I use a French press, so that screen presses down on it and filters it out. And then I mix it with honey, and it's pretty warm at that point, but it's not hot, which you can pour it down so you get, you get like all the effects. I like to drink it fast like that. So, and then I'm usually good for like 4 hours if I do it like that. Do you get any like side effects with Kratom at all?
I don't get any side effects other than just feel like I live a normal life now, and I'm happy like a person's supposed to be. It's a little bit of constipation, but that's nothing that little Miralax or something like that. I mean, I still, it's nasty, but I'm still regular.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but that's,
I get that too, and I just think I have to drink a lot of water, and I could try some other stuff too, but yeah.
See, I drink a lot of water now, so it definitely helps. It's not bad. I mean, that's the only thing I could speak of, really. I mean, that's about the only side effect that I could think of.
I mean, do you think it's severe? It's a severely addictive thing, where if you didn't have any for a week, it would be terrible?
No, I actually went to New Orleans for a week and a half. We're at my friend's bachelor party, and I actually forgot it. And no, I mean, I hardly even thought about it. I was with my friends, and we were having a great time and stuff. If I was all by myself or something, I would have been like, I wish I had drank a Kratom. But it's not addictive like that. No, it's, I got a little bit of restless legs, but it's hardly enough to notice. I mean, for me personally, I don't know other people's experiences, but.
Do you do anything else besides Kratom that is kind of the same, like for overall wellness?
No, I just drank a lot of water. I drank my Kratom and drank my coffee, and I still smoke a little bit of cannabis, but only just to relax at nighttime. I never smoke during the day, and I'll just rather drink my cup of Kratom before I go out, and I know for a fact how it's going to affect me.
All right, we're in a pandemic now, which is stressful for a lot of people, especially if you're out of work. When you're stressed, do stressful times ever tempt you to get back into drugs and alcohol?
Absolutely not. No way. I would never. No way. That's the thing, my head's on my shoulders so good now. It's just like I can't. I hadn't really talked about what I've been through before, and only people that know really is the people that know me. I look back and I was such an idiot. Yeah, no way. It was the worst time of my life.
Yeah,
it really was. I don't know if I'll do Kratom the rest of my life, but right now it's no negative. It just helps me out so much, and eventually I might quit, but I'll always be I hope it's always legal for people like me, that it can help so much. It's just an amazing plant.
I guess the final thing is, like, what advice would you have if somebody who's addicted to heroin or opiates on how they can best transition to Kratom?
Oh man, I would say stop that shit right away as quick as you can.
Yeah.
And wait till you can't bear it anymore. You're hurting so bad. You know, start taking some little Kratom to make you feel better. And then after you get through that, stop everything for as long as you can. And then if you feel that you need to, you need a little something that like you used to get, definitely don't go back to your dealer. Go to Safeway, get a little more Kratom, take that, and if it works for you like it worked for me, it just presses that button and you'll feel great, and hopefully you won't crave it anymore, and you'll live a happy life and fulfilled life, and you're not always chasing, always worried about getting this and
chasing the dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Always not happy unless you have stuff. Kratom's so much more affordable, so much safer, so much cleaner, so much better for you. Just give it a chance if you're going through it. It really does work. I mean, people think because it's legal that it's no good or something, but it really does work. Please give it a chance if you're hurting.
Thank you, Chad Goodwin from North Carolina. The music is by Risey. The song is called Memories of Thailand. The Kratom Science podcast is written and produced by me, Brian Gallagher, for KratomScience.com. Take care.